Hi, and welcome to Classical Coffee for February. Today we're going to talk about the performance coming up this Saturday, February 9 at the Zeiterian Theatre, of Haydn's great masterpiece, The Creation. The Creation stands as a summation of Haydn's career, and certainly is recognized as one of the greatest oratorios of our time, all time, just ranking up there with Handel's Messiah as most popular. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We'll talk about some of those. Certainly Haydn's genius in representing this age-old story in a new and fresh way. We're very excited about in this performance that we're going to not only have a wonderful chorus, Providence singers, singing with us, but also we have three just outstanding vocal artists that will be joining us. The soprano soloist is Teresa Wakeham, who sang with us a year ago with Messiah. She is a rising star with an international career, really noted for performances of early music. And the New York Times said that she possesses a voice of extraordinary suppleness and beauty, and the Cleveland Plain Dealer said she has a gorgeous, profoundly expressive instrument, and certainly that has been our joy to work with her in the past. Tenor soloist has also worked with us before, Matthew Anderson. Matthew has sung for a couple of years the Messiah with us. He has just a warm, lyric, delightful tenor voice and polished musicality. He was a winner in the second prize in the 2010 Oratory Society of New York solo competition, and he's been a prize winner in the American Bach Society vocal competition, and many others. He sings regularly in Boston with the renowned Emmanuel Music cantata singers at the Emmanuel Church, and sung with the Handel and Haydn Society and many others. Our bass soloist is Paul Guthrie, also now in the Boston area. Very well known for his performances of early music. He's sung in the U.S. and internationally, and with a group called Sequentia that he's recorded with. He also has performed with Boston Camerata as well as Chanticleer. So he's a very polished artist as well. So we're very, very excited to have them with us and joining us for this performance. Now, Creation is a work that really comes from the mature mind of Haydn. In the early 1790s, Haydn made two trips to London. Really had never been very much of anywhere outside of Austria before this, and he was invited by the great impresario Salomon to come to London, and he was asked to write for each visit a set of 6 symphonies, which are now known as the London Symphonies. And during his first visit in 1791, he attended a performance of Handel's Messiah that just completely changed him. He was just overwhelmed by the grandeur. He reportedly burst into tears in the Hallelujah chorus and said Handel was the master of us all, and I must go back and relearn everything anew. On his second visit, he determined that he would love to write an oratorio, something like that himself. And he was given by Salomon a libretto that wove elements of the creation story from the King James Bible with Milton's Paradise Lost. And the end result was the libretto that Haydn took back to Austria with him. And the only real drawback was that Haydn didn't speak English very well at all. And so he asked the royal imperial librarian, Van Swieten, who was also a patron of the arts and was involved in supporting many composers, asked him to translate it into German, which Van Swieten did. And Haydn set the work in German, and then Van Swieten retranslated it back into English, which makes Creation the first bilingual work in history. But it also presents some problems because the good Baron really didn't understand English as well as he thought he did. And so we wind up with some convoluted word order every once in a while. It's a little strained. So we've come up with what I would call a revised translation, in that many of the arias and recitatives have been translated so they're a little more understandable to modern audiences. And the end result, I think, will be very, very successful, and I think it will be very accessible to the audience. I think one of the things that is most characteristic of creation is that it reflects really Haydn's own personal theology and philosophy. There is no sadness or grief or darkness in this work. It is a reflection of, in some ways, a very simple and pure personal faith of Haydn in a world that is a universe that is benevolent and well ordered. While that, one could say, naive viewpoint, especially from the standpoint of the following Romantic period, might be a weakness of the work, it actually turns out to be its greatest strength, because Haydn expresses everything from a very, very personal standpoint of joy and wonder and appreciation for creation. So the end result is something that's very captivating and very moving, and quite frankly, at times quite funny too. There are some elements of text painting, which we'll we'll talk about in the next segment, that are just in many ways quite hysterical. So we encourage you to tune in tomorrow for the next segment, when we'll talk with Providence Singers Artistic Director Betsy Burley, and we'll talk more about this wonderful piece, Haydn's great masterpiece, The Creation.